Greetings, welcome. It's crazy town here at A Better Official World headquarters. Oh boy, oh boy. Well, it's a Christmas miracle. I hope everybody took the over. Yeah, we are in shambles. As we've come to expect around here. Oh, I hope everybody's doing well. It's that part of December, at least around here in the Bay Area. We start maybe a little bit sooner than some others, when the body starts to say, "Hey, wait a minute, you're kind of beating me up." I think that's me personally. That's what I have going on. My body says, "What are you doing to me?" I'm definitely feeling the early season heavy schedule. So I hope everybody's staying safe and physically fit. Greg Becker is in the house from Perrysburg, Ohio. And Dave Craig snowed in Minnesota. Not the first time that's occurred. Great to see everybody. We have delayed the start of the period by more than a minute. We will receive a team technical for a delay and are at risk of a forfeit. I would say we were at risk. And once you see how the show progresses, you may say that may have been the best decision to go with the forfeit. The Go team is definitely hard at work. Oh boy, oh boy. Excellent. Yes. Well, the coffee is going. That is essential. Essential here. It's bright and early. It's 7:15 in the morning here. Come on now. Stan Bickler, the Pittsburgh crew, is in the house. Mike Connors, that is definitely taunting, I think, for most of our audience. 69 degrees in Tampa, Florida. Rick, how many referees does it take to screw in a light bulb? Probably something about too busy screwing the coaches, or I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, Jason Hayes in the same boat as me, feeling it, a heavy volume. Yeah, it's a kabuki act. That is a delay of game warning on Greg. Put it in the book. Coach, delay of game warning. Chris Janish in the house, digging out 5 inches of snow. All right. The games go on. Appreciate that. Leitner's in the house. Good to see you. Lexington, Kentucky, Mark Harvey joining us. Okay, and my through here works. This is good. Good to see you, Thomas, on this one. Yeah. Todd, never sleeping on a Friday morning. No. Scrambling, hair pulling out. That's why I have to keep it short. Otherwise, I can grab it, and then we're in trouble. R.J. Wilson from Lawrence, Kansas. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. And so, Todd, I will say I did not receive the information. I'm sorry. Todd, I did not receive the information. We will not be able to do what we had talked about doing this morning. It's just too much of a shambles here. Mike Goodwin doubleheader. Mike Goodwin, the source of case plays consistently on Facebook groups. At the ready. Yeah. Jason Hayes, we'll see if we appreciate what I do after I show a play where you have a block charge in today's episode. Oh. Well, maybe that'll make the next one. And so I figured out the way we're going to do it was we're going to do the collegiate plays, right? We're going to do those as bonus plays for the live stream, since those get copyright strike, and so I can't sort of like put them in the main show. Not a copyright strike, a copyright claim affects the channel. So, yeah, maybe for next week, send me a clip of that. Michael, I have not heard double fisting. We double foul. signal with double fists. Oh, boy. Sounds like it must have been a good one. We've got a great one to start our play number 1. Snowing in Wisconsin. Good to see you, Cole. And, yeah, Dr. Phil is in the house. Well, there is potentially a fisting violation, a contacting with the ball in the with a fist during live ball play. Why would a player do that? They're attempting to punch the ball and NFHS says we don't want players attempting to punch the ball in close proximity to other players. Right? What can happen if that occurs? Right? You watch NFL games and a player is one player has them wrapped and the other defensive players come in and they are going for that ball. Some of the hits that they put on in that situation are just crazy. But in basketball, that is not something by rule. So a fisting violation is contacting the ball, or is it attempting to contact the ball with the fist? Like if a player, I would say it has to be contacting, but if a player comes in swinging, attempting to punch out a ball and misses, yeah, that's interesting. There you go. IAABO. Just a dusting. If we ever have snow here in the beautiful Bay Area, I will let you know. Not really a thing. Jake Taylor. Excellent, Jake. There's going to be lots of stuff here to learn, end of game situations, etc. today. Things that we want to review and just when you. I hope 10 games in as a new referee, Jake, you are analyzing your game video and you're looking at all the things, looking at your behavior on the court, positioning, etc. The basics, right? And then we can learn from video plays potentially how to handle things that occur in our game. But if you're 10 games in, baby, positioning on the court, demeanor, posture, spot of the foul mechanics, reporting mechanics and signaling, all of these things are really critical, and your ability to administer the game. And as we always recommend for new officials, what happens next. If you know what happens next, your partner has a call, made a ruling, we're going to have a throw-in. What happens next? Are you administering that throw-in? Are they? Are you crossing over the court? Are you getting in position, etc.? If you know what happens next, you look confident on the court. So that's critical. Yes, Todd, we will get to it next week. Definitely. I could keep going here forever at the beginning because I'm dreading my ability to make this show happen today. Woo. Yeah. So if a player comes in, swings a fist in an attempt to dislodge the ball, but misses in close proximity to the player, what would we have on that? We're not swinging an elbow. Yeah. Thanks, Sean. Good to see you. We will see. We will make a judgment as time passes about the content. We will do that. I am here to tell you I am nervous. I'm going to turn that off. Oh, I'm going to go there. Give me a moment. I really do need a moment here. Hold on. Well, the season is in swing, but we're always looking to get better. And how are we going to do that? We're going to look at plays. Stick around. Greetings and welcome back to 5 Play Friday, the show where we look at plays so we can get better as basketball officials. why don't we get started right away today with our very first play? See the ruling and make a judgment of your own, what you have on this play. Let's take a look at our first play. All right, the ruling on the court, held ball. What do you have on this play? Put your ruling in the show notes, in the comments below, and tell us what you have on this play. All right, and with that, let's take a look now at play number 2. All right, we have a no call at one end, transition play, block charge play at the basket. Let's look at all the things, because that's what we do as here at 5 Play Friday, right? What is the ruling on this play? Very confident lead official comes up with a charge, right? No doubt about it. Great demeanor, great presence on the court. Let's take a look. Legal defender, moving. She was moving, right? The ref, she's moving, right? You know we're going to hear that. You know we are going to hear that, right? So let's look, first of all, at the position of our lead official, right? Where do we want to be at this moment, right? This play has pushed ahead quickly. Where do we want to be, right? It's pretty clear. Give me a sec. Come on. It's pretty clear where we would want to be. We'd want to be right here at the end line, ready to receive the play. And then we'd have this look on the play, right? In the absence of that, we have a stacked look on this play as the lead. If we notice our center's in great position on the play. It's a question of whether we need to fight for this call as lead on this play. But in the end, we have a call from lead. We're going to make the call with the information that we have available to us, right? We picked up that defender. We ended up with it. We ended up with a stacked look, but we get call correct on the play. So takeaways on the play for me would be great demeanor by the calling official, confident and assured. We know that the player was moving, but they had established legal guarding position. Before the player goes airborne, they have established their position in the path of the shooter. Call correct. I love the dad in the stands waving his arms. Let's take a look. Let's put this in the Dad Hall of Fame right here. Oh, let's go back. Let's see if I can have my control here, right? Our dad here with the wave off. Of course, if we got that from a coach, if we got that same behavior from a coach, would we? How would we manage that situation? Excellent, excellent. I'm turning that off. I'm going here. I'm turning that off. We're doing some things. We're doing some things. Oh boy, Mike Connors has no call on the first one. We're not going there. Greg Becker has player control. Everybody wants. We'll go back to live streams. We'll go back to play number 1, of course, on that, so we could save that. And that's going to be the format going forward for this season. Play, you make the call. It's a way to engage live stream. I don't know why it's making that transition for me. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay. All right. Sometimes you're too smart for your own good. Oh, let's see. Carpe, I have a player control foul on this play. If we look, our defender was legal in the path, had moved laterally, was in the path before. There wasn't an airborne player, right? Airborne shooter. Then we move into their path. Then we have a block. This player is not airborne at this point. Displacement occurs. That's what I have. Come on. You gotta be. You know that dad was saying, she was moving. Yeah, original drive. I don't see what happened on that play. Hey, RJ Wilson is on Facebook. Nice. Ooh, did you, RJ? Let me know. Did you follow like the eCan? That's interesting. How your ID came through. Interesting. Because usually Facebook comments, it just gets a generic Facebook user thing. Carpe, I have a charge on this. I'm on top of my game. Come on now. Yeah, that's a good technique to help us, right? If the torso, if the contact's in the center of the torso and our defender goes straight back, right? Then obviously their body had to be in the path at that moment. Thomas, if the lead had no call on this play, absolutely. I mean, this is an obvious foul. It's a block charge play, needs a whistle, right? I'm with you, Kevin. Yes. Hey, Kevin, I'm with you. Show supporter, Kevin Smith. Yeah. That's it. Like, it helps us get the live stream in front of more people. YouTube says, hey, the people who are watching this video are engaging, right? We've got great engagement with this community of officials on 5 Play Friday. And so it's just a cue to YouTube. Hey, maybe we should show this to more people, right? So. Lead is definitely out of position on this play. Yes, he is, and he would say, I was definitely out of position on this play. Carpe, if it is a player control foul and the other team is in the bonus, we never attempt free throws related to offensive fouls, right? Player control, team control, never do we attempt free throws. Okay. All right. Now I go here. I go here. And rather than say play number 3, I'm going to say next play because I'm learning stuff. All right, great play scenario. Let's take a look at our next play. All right, ruling on the floor, player technical foul on our defender for contacting the ball during a throw-in. That's the ruling on the court. Player technical contacting the ball during a throw-in, right? Let's look at all of the things on this play, right? And we can start with the basics in terms of administration of the game. When we have a throw-in this situation in front of the bench, right? What is our throwing player allowed? They are allowed 3 feet of area minimum for them to work with. Oftentimes when we have a situation where the player is in front of the bench, we will recognize that they could potentially step. They don't have the room behind them in this situation. Looks like they only have like a foot of room, right? We could have a player in this situation actually step onto the court and that be legal. But something we would be obligated to do here is move our defender back to create that, imaginary area of 3 feet to give our thrower room to operate. So this is a really tight environment on this court. It's obvious it's tight all the way around. And we have to recognize that and create situations of fairness on the court. So that's something that's obvious from that. But let's move forward. Right? What is the restriction here on this play? A defender is not allowed to break the plane, the throw-in plane, boundary plane, and contact the basketball during a throw-in. Until what point? Understanding that once the throw-in is released, the defensive player may, at that point, extend through the boundary plane and contact the basketball legally. The restriction on contacting the basketball ends. The restriction on the plane ends when the ball is released on the throw-in. So that's just a fact, and that's something we have to be aware of on this play. Was the ball released here? I don't think so. I think the ruling may be accurate. Let's take a look in slow motion at all of the things. Right? Right. We've really put this thrower in a tough scenario by allowing that defensive player that proximity on the play, and the thrower has no room to go back. If the defensive player in this instance broke the plane and contacted the basketball, that is a player technical. If the offensive player had extended the ball over the court through the boundary plane and the defensive player contacts the basketball, this is a legal play. Tough on this angle, but it's great to see these kind of plays so that we can get our mind thinking about all of the things. In this situation, I would look to have better administration of the throw-in. better administration of the throw-in, giving our thrower a fair opportunity to make the throw-in, moving our defender and saying, and giving them a clear signal of where our imaginary boundary would be in a situation like this. But just recognizing the environment we're in, etc. Also, the other thing here is we've got the coach, right? And this is always a variable. During throw-ins in front of an opponent's bench, our coach and their proximity and what they're doing. Sometimes we'll have a coach that's standing here or a coach that's standing here, sort of in our way, right? And they can sometimes act as sort of a third defender. They're waving their arms around, a little bit of distraction for our thrower. We could ask them to move or say, Coach, why don't you step back? Because your toe, right, is on the court. In this instance, they're super engaged with their team and they're trying to direct. They're obviously coaching their team, right? They may be completely unaware of their, proximity or proximity to the court, right? But something we have to be aware of in these throw-in situations in front of the bench. We could ask the players on the bench to tuck their feet back, right? Hey, can you move your feet back? They'll do it. It's just a simple game administration thing for me on this play. So a great play. Ruling is the ball was touched by the defender by violating the boundary plane. This is a player technical foul by rule. It would also incur a delay of game warning for that team for the remainder of the game, etc. Those two things would go hand in hand. If there had already been a delay of game warning, the player technical overrides any second technical that would be in effect there. So it's a great play scenario for us to look at, right? Refresh our memory about rules, look at the administration of the throw-in and the variables there for us to think about so that when we take to the court, we can be better as basketball officials. Play. Hey. Huh. Oh. Okay. All right. I don't know what that's in reference. Oh, I see. In California, we have ended the use of that mechanic. Greg, it's tough. It's really tough to tell whether it was still in the hand or not, but I agree with you. Back her up. They tried to release it. That's definitely true. Yeah, I think this play is really all about game administration, preventative officiating, and just recognizing the situation, because this is going to happen, right? As high school officials, we are working in tight environments, right? Some courts are fantastic, lots of room, and it's very comfortable. But there's that gym, that one that we're going to be in where we have very little room, and we have to, up our recognition of that. Right. Sometimes in a situation like this, if it was an out of bounds play near the third assistant coach, rather than have the thrower throw in from that spot, I would move them so that they had more room. Do they have more room by the sticky pad thing on the floor? Ay. This is a tight gym. Miggity Mac. Now that's a great YouTube handle. Preventative officiating, yeah. That's definitely a possibility on this play, Todd. Definitely a possibility. That's a great point. That's a great point as well. I see a lot of officials on sideline throw-ins like to hand the ball to the thrower, thinking that that is the correct mechanic. I do not believe that is the correct mechanic. That is we should bounce the ball to the thrower. I mean, something we have to recognize when we have a throw-in situation, when we're on the end line in the front court and the team is remaining in the front court, our mechanic is to hand the ball to the thrower. But what's the first thing we do after we hand the ball to the thrower? We step away because we have a lot of things to officiate on a throw-in, right? So when the ball is thrown in at other parts of the court, on the sideline and in the back court, bouncing the ball is going to put us in better position, right? We will have the big picture view and have more perspective on a play. So on a sideline throw-in, definitely, in almost all situations, bounce the ball to the thrower. But Chris also brings up the point that ask yourself, when I'm moving away from a play, am I the best version of myself, or am I maybe less than best version of myself? We're human beings, and the movements we make and the fact that we're moving, etc., can affect our confidence in our ruling and our judgments as well. So that's just what we're going to look at. No, when I move, I'm really good. Okay, perfect. Don't believe so. Yeah, so this play is pretty straightforward. I appreciate everybody jumping in. Well, we can't see, Derek, we can't see oh, yes. She has no idea what's going on in this play. She's super engaged with her players. And, we love coaches who coach their players, right? So probably not going to get too much pushback from her. Awesome. Okay. All right. This is my pause moment. Right. That is... All right, fantastic. Let's move forward. All right. So we have a front court throw-in situation. Throw-in is completed. Ball is deflected. Loose ball situation. Foul by red. New lead. Old trail comes and gets it. Is this the correct ruling on the play? What are all of the things that we're looking at and considering on a play such as this? All right. So let's look first. Let's look first at the position of the crew during a throw-in. Right? We have handed the ball to the thrower, and like we talked about on the previous play, our lead has taken a step back. What is our lead officiating on a play like this? They have to detect whether the thrower violates. They have to detect whether the defensive player violates the boundary plane, etc. Need to be aware of potentially of the activity that's out here. Good 45-degree angle, right? When we analyze game video, we're looking for the basics and fundamentals of a crew, even if it's not pertinent to the play, right? Our center's in great position. They are officiating off ball Oh, I see. They are officiating off-ball action here. Trail has to pick up action here. What do we expect in a situation where red is running 4 flat here? The ball is probably going to be thrown above that, right? Oftentimes, being aware that throw-in plays are often designed for the thrower to be the subsequent player to get the ball. We want to be aware of that as well. All right. Go there. Right, our trail is in perfect position on the catch. Open look on the play. Ball's deflected. White grabs the ball, attempts to throw ahead, and is fouled. The play blows up in front of the center. New lead. Puts a whistle on new lead, old trail, right? It's like they are actually the new lead, but we're a little bit that's not super clear in this situation. When did they become new lead? In the instant that White caught the ball, right? Then they're new lead, right? So we're still connected with the play, and we have a whistle. 4th period, close game. We want great rulings in the game. Is this the correct ruling? And would we shoot free throws if both teams were in the bonus? I didn't notice from the scoreboard whether they were, right? We need to, is this a loose, quote unquote, loose ball foul? Or do we have player control by White in this situation? These are the things that we have to think about on a ruling. So I say good get by the lead. This is an obvious foul. There is displacement. This play needs a whistle. We need to be aware that the White had gained control. If they were in the bonus, they would be due bonus free throws in this situation. That's what I have on that play. What do you have? I forgot to do that thing. I'm going to do that. I got skills. Don't mess with me. Let's see what... So Stan is the calling official on this play. Hold on a second. There we go. C wanted to hear me out in the locker. He said, just because small against big, be careful. Stan, you do not believe this was call correct in this situation? I mean, to me, all right, so White is holding the ball here. Why is it doing that? Oh, okay. I mean, White is holding the basketball, right? So and extends an arm. I don't see a ward. I don't see a push off in this instance. I see red coming into White, an airborne player with the basketball. That's what I see on this play. That's interesting. Well, let me go back. Yeah, so fill me in more. Greg, good to see you. Yeah, that's something NCAA women has adopted the same, Dave, on a throw-in. Huh. All right, Kevin, bumping us up. What do you have to hear, Todd? Yeah, so who did what? Well, we have an airborne player holding the basketball who is displaced and knocked to the floor. In the end, that's what we have, right? Even though it happens in an instant and team control changes, that is what we have on this play. Oftentimes, these two players going for the basketball, advantage, disadvantage, who had, who had gained control or who had more legal position. Do we have to have a whistle on the play, etc.? To me, this play absolutely has to have a whistle. That's a fact of life, right? RJ asking team control foul, right? That's what we have to be aware of. Do we have a change of possession on this play? I say yes, we do. I see this kid from White who was trying to pass the ball ahead. Man, that is a quick thinker right there. That kid is a quick thinker. Probably a really good point guard. Chris, as usual, with a key nugget and a key takeaway. When we analyze our game video and our partner makes a call that maybe what we felt was incidental contact, or we felt that the call was incorrect based on our angle on the play, what is our demeanor? Are we like, right? Do we have anything that's not supporting the call by the official? Or are we, great call, partner, great call, right? Is that just our demeanor and our energy on the court? We want to have that habitual action because our partner is going to receive negative energy from the coach on a call like this, etc. And if we have our crew expressing body language that says you should not have made that call, that was obviously not the correct call, etc. And right, so when we analyze our game video, right? Your partner makes a call. What is your body language? What is your demeanor? Is it supporting your crew? Is it neutral? Or is it not supporting your crew, right? Make those evaluations, especially on plays where you think, ooh, I don't know about that one, right? I thought he got it clean up top, etc. So, great point, Chris, as always. Kevin says, I got nothing. Well, okay. I do not agree. I do not think that White is flopping here. I think they were contacted by Red 5 while they were airborne, and this caused their torso to move backwards and their legs to flip up. Jared Shaw says, if you have to have a whistle on a play like this. I'd say that the catch itself, in and of itself, Todd, established control, right? He clearly caught the ball. Jared says, I appreciate that. Billy Mack. David from Idaho, good to see you. You probably have snow on the ground. I don't know. Thomas, therein lies the question. What if White had not caught the ball? What if the ball had simply had gained an advantageous position on the play? It would really depend on kind of what happened next. In situations like this where there is clear displacement, like let's say instead two players are going for the ball and they are both going like this, and at some point they have equal position on the court and just explode. They really, they're coming from a more severe angle in pursuit of the ball, neither gets the ball and they, just bang into each other really hard. In this situation, we can have a train wreck, an absolute train wreck with no call. But for me, when I see player A is in pursuit of the ball and they have an advantageous position and are about to get the ball, and they are contacted in this fashion in a way that prevents them from playing basketball further, right? Then that's a foul on the player who did not have position. That's my mindset on a play like this. So you could take that for what it's worth. Yeah, if we were not in the bonus, we would have a throw in near the spot of the foul. What do we have here on the clock at the end? Do we have team fouls up on the board? Nope. Fouls at the other end. Oh. Stan, that is the way to go. I mean, that's the thinking. It's just so you have to make a judgment on a crew and how we've pre-gamed and how we're officiating this game. Plays that need whistles in our judgment, right? Well, we don't put a whistle on the play. We expect our partner. We leave it up to our partner. It's an obvious foul. Does that make our game better? Does that make our game worse? Right? We want to trust, but we also want to have overall big picture views, right? If we have a game, crew, you philosophy, we're going to put the game ahead of a crew member, right? It's the balance, right? We say trust our partner, call the obvious, right? Or call the obvious, referee the defense, call the obvious, and trust your partner, right? In that sequence. So that's a great point. And as Billy Mack says, I don't know that he agreed. I don't know that his perspective was I don't see that as being a lot of negative body language by the center on the play, but yeah, I'm with you. Todd thinks possible foul on the deflection. Let's take a look. We have a good look. From here, it's moving away, stepping up. Well, the ball behaved as if the ball was contacted. Certainly have a case there. Maybe that center sees that and decides to not put a whistle on it. Right? These are great variables. Good point, Todd. And could the trail have improved their position in any way possible to see that action? No. There's no way the trail could see arm contact there. Okay, great discussion. Yeah. Shane says, sometimes you got to come get a crew saver call. Yep. All right. It's a great play. It's a great play for discussion. This would be, all right. So this would be a great play to bring into your pregame, right? Even if it's on your phone, right? We have a play like this. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about referee the defense, call the obvious, trust your partner. Let's talk about that. Now let's also talk about obvious fouls in the game. Shall we put a whistle on it, or shall we say, no, that's my partner's area. I see it's an obvious foul, but I'm not going to put a whistle on it, right? It can be a great discussion in pregame about how we're going to officiate that game. Video clips, when we bring them into our pregame, even if it's just on a phone, can often inspire discussion that leads to other areas as well, right? So consider that. Consider that in your very next game. No? Consider that in your very next game. Let me go here. here. All right, a great play to talk about all of the things, right? Again, we have a sideline throw-in on the play. This looks like a high school game based on the trail moving quickly to the reporting area. But let's look at all the things on this play. Right? So in this instance, our trail official bounces the ball to the thrower for a sideline throw-in. Right? Look at the action by White where they sort of reach out, right? We love players being competitive with one another and the engagement that they have to a certain extent, right? Watch the behavior by one, right, where he taps or reaches out to tap his opponent in this situation, right? They may have been going back and forth all game long. In a competitive fashion, and we love to see that, but we don't want anything to cross the boundary, right? We don't want that same action on an airborne shooter, right? But we have a throw-in. We have screening action that the lead would be observing. Received. Our thrower runs out of bounds, re-enters. Looks like we have a swipe down on the elbow there. Extended leg by the thrower. Our lead, with zero room to get any sort of perspective on the play, puts a whistle on the play. From lead on a three-point shooter, you can't do that in high school, can you? Right? If we think about officiating where our partner cannot, I call this, when this throw-in is made by the trail, I call this being in jail. You, as the official administering the throw-in, you are stuck. There's players between you and the action, right? 24 is obscuring your view. You can't get an angle. You're stuck, right? And that stuck I refer to as being in jail. We also like the reaction by White one here in the corner. Love it. Love it. All right, but what do we have on this play? Let's take a look. Throw in. It's interesting to hear from Chris Janish on the play whether he had the foul on the swipe down or was it leg contact, right? Our shooter extends a leg. Is that a natural movement on the play? Interesting, right? Cadence whistle as lead. We understand that is the trail's call to make as we outline the mechanics. But in the absence of a call from the trail, which wouldn't be a surprise on a play like this, then come with a whistle on a foul. Right. Okay. So a great clip that helps us, start to look at all the things that we analyze in our game video. And we appreciate having the opportunity to do that. Yeah, whatever the fuck that means. Okay. All right. Another great discussion play. Rich and Michelle from New Mexico. Appreciate you joining. Putting your voice in the game. Excellent. And on the previous play, Obviously, Mike and I agree with Stan that you made the right call. Okay, Carpe says flop on this play. Thomas, not established inbounds. Well, ultimately, he establishes inbounds on the play, right? Or on the handoff. Oh, I see. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Well, we would certainly expect the trail to get that, right? So if we look and see the thrower, not only did they travel out of bounds along the sideline, but they may have contacted the ball before establishing inbounds. To establish inbounds after being inbounds, obviously, all the thrower would have to do is have 1 foot contacting the court and nothing that's contacting outside of the court. The out of bounds area, if we see that, not clear that they established in bounds. They are out of bounds, out of bounds, out of bounds, out of bounds. Then they become inbounds at that point. We're obscured, but it appears based on the physics involved that we should have had a violation, an out of bounds violation on that. Lance brings up a question many would ask. Three-man coup, why, oh why, Chris, as lead, are you looking at that play? Oh, that's really interesting. Of course, I missed that fact along the way. It's great that that's the first thing everybody sees. Easy breezy. Where was the foul? It could have been on the swipe down. It could have been related to the leg contact. There is leg contact. Good job, everybody. I did not even see that. I'm looking at all the other things. Excellent. Yeah, I agree with you, Jacob, that the purpose of the rule of if a player in a throw in situation releases the throw in, delays their return, goes to another part of the court before re-entering the court, they are liable for a player technical foul. Jacob's saying that he doesn't believe that that is the spirit and intent of the rule, that this player was just sort of drifting and just never made it onto the court. At the same time, their ability to enter the court would be limited on the play due to the proximity of the defender or their teammate. Yeah. Nice. Billy Mac's tech support team. Yes. Chris, where was the foul? Was the foul on the swipe down, or did you call the foul on the leg contact? Let me know that. Rich and Michelle want to know the same thing. Some people are talking about the screening. I'd say 12 screen is legal. Yeah. All the things. All the things. No. No, they will not. No, they will not. Because this live stream cannot be monetized because of the plays we'll get to later. Will we get to plays later? We are 1 hour in. I better accelerate the pace of play here. Right? You always want to evaluate your game. Does this game, need to be slowed down, or does it need to be the players keep playing and the coach is coaching? All right. Okay. I am using a crutch. I'm using the crutch method. All right. Let me go here. Let me go here. Yes. We are in great shape. I want to go here. All right, at the start of the show, we had a play that was controversial. Let's review play number 1. Oh, interesting. Okay. We're going to fix it in post. All right. Tough play. The ruling is held ball, right? If an airborne player, if a defensive player contacts the ball when a player is airborne and prevents the release either of a try or a pass, then a held ball ruling should be ruled. Is that what happens on this play? Let's go here. Ultimately, this try is released. I do not believe that would be the correct ruling on this play. The real question here is, was this player fouled, right? Was there contact with the ball that made the subsequent contact incidental on a play like this, right? Of course, we are in an end of game situation. Let's look at our clock. At the very right, we're throwing in with 5.9 seconds to go. Red is trailing by 2 points. End of game situation. Need to be aware of time and score. We're thinking through strategy, etc. We don't know if we've come out of a timeout here for this sideline throw-in. We don't have that information. If so, we would certainly expect to get together as a crew, and we're going to talk about all of the things, be aware of timeout situation, foul situation, potential strategy options that may be employed going into the situation, right? So let's assume we're armed with all of that. If we look at positioning by the crew, right? Not ideal position as center on this play. We'd rather be in a low position here with an open look on this matchup. Do we have ball contact that renders the subsequent arm contact and body contact as incidental on this play? That is really what this play is all about. All right. To me, I think our center is out of position. And the other thing that happens on this play that we have to be aware of is ultimately a held ball is ruled, and there's like not an awareness by the crew necessarily who had the held ball, who had the possession arrow in this situation. If we're going to make proper judgments and rulings at the end of the game, we need to know that in advance. That's something else I would say. But our center picks up the defender here, has to transfer their eyes on this multiple defenders. I have a foul. That's an obvious foul to me. That arm contact, he goes through the arm to get to the ball. You know, I know that in the NBA, if the ball is contacted first, then subsequent contact can be ruled incidental. I just do not see that on this play. Nor do I have that thing working. Hold on a second. I do not see that on this play. I see an obvious foul. I see forearm contact on an airborne shooter. Right? Elbow contact. Might have been simultaneously, but there's just too much contact on this play, right? That is a foul. We have taken away Red's opportunity in this situation. If, of course, we have a resulting throw-in with .3, then we would know all of the things as well in a situation like this, that the team could not catch and release a try, etc. But that's the ruling on this play. Held ball, what did you have on this play? This is a great discussion play for basketball officials. And so, appreciate that. So, and we love talking about plays, analyzing plays, so that we can all get better as basketball officials. What do we have on this play? I am sure we are going to have disagreement on this play. Oh, boy. Ralph Pierre checking in from Illinois. Good to see you. Held ball and technical. So that's the other thing on this play. That's another aspect of this play, is the behavior of the player who was, let's say, knocked to the floor and did a foul call was not ruled. Right? Is their behavior aggressive towards the official in disagreement? Or is their behavior, I cannot believe it, right? Incredulous, I believe would be the word. Lakers fan, I agree with you. So we have an incorrect ruling on the play, right? So it doesn't lend a lot of support. Laker fan says clean block. All right, let's get forensic. Right? So we definitely have arm contact. Do we have ball contact on this play first? If we had ball contact first, that ball would have moved. That's what I'm going to say on this play. If we had ball contact before the arm contact, the ball would have moved. And it did not move, right? So our shooter, right, the contact on the arm moves the hand and the ball back together. So if we get super forensic, and the ball never moves, right? So if we had ball contact, that ball would have moved, For me, this is an obvious foul, and that should have been the ruling on this play. Rick has three shots. All right, RJ, so that's a great point. So for me, so RJ says it would have taken guts to put two hands on the ball handler. I don't see a hand check here. But in end of game situations, we want to call the obvious, right? And we want to know the impact of our whistle. If we put a hand check and the team's in the bonus on a player moving from east to west in the game, to me, right, they have not been affected to the degree that they've been prevented from getting what they wanted to have happen, right? And you could say, well, that's been a hand check, for 31 minutes, so in the final minute we can't change, etc. That's a perspective. I can appreciate that. That is not my perspective. My perspective is that we need to call the obvious, and we need to have a different approach in the end of game situation. Mike says ball body. Yeah, but he didn't know. He didn't know which way the arrow was, and that is, if I'm in an end of game situation, not that it's happened this year, recently, but if I'm in an end of game situation and I don't know all of the things, I don't know the exact time, score, possession arrow, team fouls, all of the things. If I'm missing a piece of information, then I've got a problem. The problem is me, right? Because if I'm missing the information, then not only am I missing it, but I haven't communicated it to my crew as well. So that's what we want to see in this situation. Like if he came up, held ball, red ball, right? And then do we need a clock adjustment in that situation? That would be another question, right? He has a look at the clock in this situation. What happens to the clock? Because we know that if we let it run from 0.8 down to 0.3, we've taken because we would know that it's going to be red ball. That's my judgment. It's a held ball leading to a red throw-in, and I need to fix the clock. Could we fix the clock from anywhere on the court as a crew? When the whistle sounds, let's take a look. Right? That's when he's starting to raise his hands. We're going to assume the whistle occurs at this point. There's 0.8. We would need to fix the clock as a crew. If that was our ruling. All of the things, right? So we analyze game video. It's like we can really look at the minutia, build things back up, tear things down, build things back up, and say, what do I want to be able to do in this situation? Right? If I'm the lead or I am the trail, what do you have? Do you have any ability to influence this call? No, it's completely in the lap of the center. But are we going to stop officiating? I heard your whistle and the clock said 0.8. I heard your whistle, the clock said 0.6. Right? Let's fix the clock. I disagree, Laker fan. I hope the Lakers don't catch the Warriors. That would be an embarrassment. Warriors about to go on a 6-game roadie. Tough one. Struggling. Oh, yeah. Where are we going to have the resulting throw-in? RJ would ask. Well, when you can go frame by frame, it really helps. Billy has arm contact. Rick Watson in the house. Good to see you, Rick. It's been a while. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, the defender certainly has no LGP. That's really not the factor on this play. The question is what happens up top. He's obviously a super long player. I should have that running. Dave says behavior by... So at this point, he thinks he's going to the line. I don't know. To me, it's an emotional game. This is an emotional moment in the game, right? We have a moment of being incredulous and just behaving as if you are incredulous. There's no like movement to the official, right? Going to the official, like I disagree, any sort of negative energy like that. There's no wave off. There's just like, I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. How can you not call that a foul, right? To me, that's allowed in this situation. That's me. I don't feel the player is showing us up. I think they are just absolutely shocked in the moment. That doesn't mean, of course, you could be shocked in the moment and display behavior that requires that it be a technical foul be assessed. To me, I don't see that on this play. Yeah. Well, if we don't have arm contact in the end, ultimately we have hip contact and displacement, right? The question, initially is, was the ball contacted and prevented from being released? Was the ball contacted, rendering subsequent foul incidental? And that would be another full question. It's just like, well, yeah, he contacted the ball or he touched the ball, but the subsequent contact rises to the level of a foul. I do not know how to pronounce that, and I don't feel bad about that. Head contact. I don't see head contact on this play. Well, because the reason I say that, Mike, is because the defensive player is moving into the situation, right? It's not like it's a passive action. It's a stiff-armed action that if it contacted the ball would move relative to the player. You see how the ball and arm move back together? You could say, no, he's just holding the ball so tight that happens. Yep. I'm with you. I want to go. Let me see. How come my audio's... Huh. Let me do this so we can get a whistle. Oh, I got it off of Twitter, so I wasn't able... No, I did get sound. Here we go. Let's hear when the whistle goes. Of course, you can't always be assured that it's accurate. There's definitely, the whistle sounds like right here, I think. Jeff, I'm with you. No, I need to go here. I got skills. Veteran Biker says, trying to find any guidance on a referee having a tattoo on the forearm. I am a retired Navy and have two tattoos visible, but nothing derogatory. Not able to find any guidance from NFHS. It's going to be up to your assigner and what they want. I know that maybe a decade ago when tattoos were less acceptable, I had officials that I know that wore a arm sleeve to cover them in a fashion that it was sort of mimicked their skin color. In this instance, it was the rare use of the beige arm sleeve, even though it's allowed by rule for players. They don't wear beige arm sleeves. So that's what I'd say about that. Just talk to your assigner and say, what's acceptable? What will you allow? What do you want? And conform to that. Huh. Excellent, Stan. All right. Wow. A lot of comments. Great play. Great play to talk about. Right? Like the previous play, I think has more impact in a pregame. This kind of play is, very unique and not necessarily going to happen, but we're going to have situations in our game with the previous play, etc. But again, I'd reiterate our ability. Okay. Okay. I want to do some things. Okay. Give me a second. Wait a minute. Oh, too bad. Too bad. Just a second. Let me make it happen. I want to go here. I want to go here. I want to go here. All right, let's get some bonus plays. As usual, another great play, great discussion play. There's going to be disagreement between officials, but we're looking at all the things, trying to get better as basketball officials. Ay. A classic from the vaults. All right, we're actually out of sequence here. A classic from the vaults, a fun play. We like to see fun plays. Obviously, we wish nothing but the best for our windmilling player, but this is a better official favorite play. Brings a smile every time. I'm sure she was okay on this play. We don't want players getting hurt, but a fun play to wrap up the show. But for live stream viewers, that is out of sequence. We're going to do that all again. I am really winging it here. right, last set or end of game, 4 overtime, goaltending ruling. Was our calling official correct? What do we see on a play like this? Right? Obviously, we are talking about an elite level of official on this game. Let's take a look. Right? Call from the trail on this play. Is this goaltending by rule? Do we have high certainty in this end of game situation? Blue is trailing by 1. Was this ball, in order to have goaltending, the ball would need to be on its downward flight, a try, ball on the downward flight, chance to go in, certainly seems to be have a chance to go in. Was this on its downward flight? Would we be in the best position to make this call? I do not see downward movement by the basketball. I think, oh, do we? It's close. Upward, 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 contacted. It's not on its downward flight, right? Who has a great angle on this play? That would be a question. As trail, when this play, we are basically straight lined from the ball, the flight of the ball. Are we in the best position as trail to make this call? Or is our camera angle the golden look on this play? Who has the camera angle? Our center official? Yeah, so that's the ruling in this situation. And then the calling official points at the clock. Maybe there's a clock adjustment. Maybe in NCAA men's you can go to the monitor and determine time remaining. I think he's communicating to his crew that we're going to do something with the clock on the play. Great awareness in that situation. But I have a legal block. Mike, interesting. Oh, okay. All right. Oh. Oh, excellent. Thanks for that feedback, Laker. I did not know that. Chris Janish supplied this play. If you want to supply it, no, I'm not going to do that because, this is not going to be make it into the final episode. I got you. Right. So if we know that this brings up a great point. So I guess in this game, the call, they went to the monitor, the call was reviewed, etc. The team challenged. Is that a thing, NCAA men's now? Excellently. It was not down on its downward flight. Of course, it's a fraction of a second in that judgment. So Mike says he thinks the trail has the best angle. I do disagree. That would be a great discussion. Dave has great block. Yes, it's great to see plays in slow motion. Oh. If in the absence of we'd have to go to the possession arrow. If this call is overturned, we would go to the point of interruption. What was the point of interruption? A release of a try. Incorrect ruling. We would go to the possession arrow, yeah? I think the center has the best angle. Dave thinks the center has the best angle. Mike thinks the trail has the best angle. Yeah. So is that what happened on this play? Did the officials go to the monitor to review, or is there a challenge? There's now a challenge opportunity in NCAA women's, so I'm a little disconnected from the men's game. Yeah, so this could be a good discussion play for a crew that's going into a game that they expect high athleticism in the game. If they've got elite athletes where goaltending is definitely going to be a thing, talking about who should the goaltending call should come from, etc. Mike says the officials can review under 2 minutes. Alabama had the arrow. Alabama up 1, gets the ball. Gotcha. I got you. I got you. So the officials know. All right. So this is an interesting scenario, though, right? So the officials know that if we put a goaltending ruling into the game, we can go to the monitor to review and determine the accuracy. But the downside of that is, okay, and so I'm going to go out of my way to, if it's close, to put a ruling on the play. And if I'm wrong, then we'll just deal with that after the fact. But in this situation, what if the ball was going in, right? We've taken away Blue's opportunity to score here. Would knowledge of the possession arrow have affected his decision? Well, that's a lot to think about, man. A great play. A great play. All right, but we're going to do another one. I am faking it till I make it. Yeah, let's look at another bonus play. All right. Whole lot of tremendousness, right? They're running a play. Player steps out of bounds. Legal. Count continues. The long throw. The officials have control of the clock using precision timing in this situation, but apparently the table could override. Ball deflects. Clock should start here. It does. Try. Misses. Put back before the lights. Successful goal. Would any time be put back on the clock? I don't think so. I think the ball was still in flight. Yep. That is game over, baby. Oh, wait. No, we've tied the game. And we're going to overtime. Right, the officials immediately go to a signal. I guess they're going to review a last-second shot, see if it was good. I assume that they scored the goal. And this game went to overtime, but a great scenario and one, right? So let's say we're in a high school game and this same situation occurs and the ball is thrown ahead and it contacts the backboard and the ring and the clock starts. And we recognize the clock starts before the player catches the ball or after the player catches the ball, right? If we think would we expect a clock to start in a high school game on a ball that was thrown the full length of the court and contacted the backboard? Would we be surprised if our timer started the clock inadvertently in that instance? I would not be surprised. This is an unusual play. It can catch us. We can make a reaction on the play. That's what really strikes me about this one is the fact that discipline. No, we're not starting. No, we're not starting. No, we're not starting. So that was tremendous. That was it was out of their hands. Out of their hands. Okay. What do we have going? All right. So Chris has another play for us. I'm just going to do it this way. I think I'm going to do it that way. What a scenario. Team is down 7. That's 3 possessions. And this unfolds, right? After that goal, the first goal, we've got a 5-point lead with 3.9 seconds remaining. Throw in. Trail's got it. Hits the 3. Clock stops. NCAA men's. 1.8 remaining. Trail's good. Players moving. Throw ahead. Yikes. That ball is inbounds. The whistle is blown. Would the try count in this situation? Oy, oy, oy. Oy, oy, oy. What do we have? Okay. So, scored goal. Throw ahead. This player is inbounds. Inbounds. That ball is inbounds. This player's legal. Official blows their whistle. When do they blow their whistle? Let's see. Clock doesn't, stops at 0.7. Starts again. Oh, messy, messy business, right? But the official had an inadvertent whistle at an inopportune time, right? How would we resume play here? It would really depend on the timing of the whistle, and any way you slice it, it's going to be unfortunate because the play should not have been stopped. That try should have counted, assuming that the stoppage when it occurred did not exhaust. We'd have to do some math. Just a messy situation. I would assume that the way this was resolved, and you guys are obviously much more aware of NCAA men's games than I am. When the whistle is blown, white has team control. Inadvertent whistle, point of interruption, white has team control. Crazy sequence. Fun sequence. And just like out of the blue, it was a 3-possession game with, 9 seconds remaining or something. Yeah, we cannot count the goal. The whistle blew before the ball was released. And understanding what causes the ball to become dead. If we had a 3-point shooter and they had begun their habitual throwing motion but had yet to release the ball and the whistle blows, are they allowed to complete their habitual shooting motion? No, they are not. Unless the ball has been released, the official's whistle in this instance would cause the ball to become dead. Hoi, oi, oi. I think the official I think he had his head down and saw the defensive player's feet contact out of bounds, even though he had no understanding of what was the status of the ball up top. I think that is what we have. Oh, Rich says signaling a foul. I have an open hand. A little blurry. Well, so it definitely a travel by rule because he's pivot and what have you, right? I would ask the assigner who put the officials on this game, do they want a traveling call ruled in that situation? I would ask that. Kimmy is in the house. Facebook. Excellent. Love it. Well, that is a crazy play. Any way you slice it, and one that's really, as we, I like to say we're guiding a game into port, right? We're the little tugboats in a game that's basically been decided, and we guide it into port. We don't want to miss fouls on the team that's ahead. We don't want to, create any opportunity for the losing coach to have an issue that they can hang their hat on and act out and behave, etc. We have an expectation about how this game is going to go, and then the game reaches up and says, no, not tonight. We got something wild, and so obviously we just have to stay engaged all the way to the end so that we do the game justice. And yeah. Down 2 in this situation, assuming the bonus, right? If they inbound the ball, the defense is going to, knowing all the things in end of game situation. If anybody knows how this actually turned out, that would be awesome. Okay, so they went with inadvertent whistle. They went with White having team control, be a spot nearest to where the ball was when the whistle blew, so that was in the hands of the player. Maybe that whistle blew before the traveling violation, and we're all off the hook. Right, looks like his whistle is blowing here before the release of the ball, but it's close. Oh, man. Jeff, they can complete the shooting motion on a defensive foul, even if against a non-shooter. But what I'm saying is that if the official has an inadvertent whistle while they are in the process, does continuous motion apply in that situation? And it would not. That was what I was saying there. If I was unclear, I apologize. Yeah, that would be a question. But that's a great play scenario just because it's crazy and just lets us know that at the end of the game, even though we have a lot of experience and awareness about how this game is going to go, we know how this game is going to go. White has no opportunity to win this game. And we're going to officiate as such. All right. Okay. All right. I have a tremendous workload ahead of me today. I hope everybody's got a great day ahead of them. Oh, here's another play from Chris. Let's go. There. All right, looks like a bonus situation. 30-second shot clock. Possible steal. 25 goes to the basket. Blue 14 reaches out with two hands, puts him on his hips. Release of a try. Had the habitual throwing motion begun for our player? Crew gets together in the middle of the floor, joined by a third official, 3 officials in a group. What do we have in this scenario? Ultimately, our ruling is... I slapped myself pretty hard. Ultimately, it looks like our ruling is a common foul in this situation. This would seem to me to be a clear intentional foul, making no play on the ball, grabbing the hips from behind. This would be as obvious a situation as possible. If we look at it here, 14 reaches out, grabs. Maybe the trip came first, possibly. And we put a whistle on the play, player going to the basket for a possible layup. We'd have to make a judgment if we did have an intentional foul ruling. Had the player begun their habitual try for goal? I don't think so. Had they even caught the ball? Foul occurs right here with the ball in flight. Those are the things we would be looking at. Will you see me Wednesday? You will definitely see me Wednesday. Chris, excellent research, says that our home team did not come back in that game. Yeah, so Chris's point here as part of the video is, I need to fix that, is observing players, right? This is, and both teams 10 fouls in the game. I assume this is close to an end of game situation, which would render this foul even more obvious to be an intentional, right? 2 officials are going to discuss. If you're the trail official in this instance, you have to make a smart decision. Do you have something on this play that is going to impact the decision? Does it require you coming in so that we have our little scrum of officials here and nobody observing players? Or are we going to take an opportunity to maybe say, hey, I have an opinion on this play to our partners, right? We just need to make a decision. We can always direct the players to go to the benches if the 3 of us need to get together. Something we'd want to think of on this play. But like right now, at this instant, who's watching the players? Nobody. And when we analyze our game video, that's one of the first things I look at is what was I distracted by to not look at players and not position my body so that if I did look away, I'd still have a perception, peripheral vision perception. But when we are walking away, right, so like let's say we have a call from the lead on a play at the basket, right? Lead is going to, and I'm the center. Lead is going to switch with the table side official. Those officials are going to be moving. The lead is going to be focused on the table. The trail, new lead, is going to step down. We would want them to be open and aware of players. But whose job is it really? It's my job as center in that situation. I can't be distracted and looking away or gazing up at the scoreboard, etc. Just recognize our crew is in motion. Somebody needs to just own the fact that, no, we're not going to break our discipline and not look at play. And of course, that's always going to be relative to the temperature of the game. But habits and fundamentals are what going to allow us to succeed in high stress moments, right? So if we are lax about our habits and fundamentals in this area, and we get into a situation where we've come together as a crew and then something happens and we didn't see it, right? It's all comes back to the fact that our habits and fundamentals just had a weak point. The weak points in our habits and fundamentals will always come back and get us at a key moment of a key game. Yeah, John, they probably have the ability to make that decision on that play with the monitor, right? Chris says, dialogue with the calling official is support the upgrade. He felt the defensive player was holding up the offensive player. Okay, so like they had tripped them. I don't know. How much time was remaining? It looks like there's not much time remaining, and I'm assuming that black is trailing. These, of course, are going to be factors on the play as well. I would say. Okay. Oh, my goodness gracious. Well, I think today's been really a really good episode. A lot of great discussion plays, things that we've been looking at. So I appreciate everybody joining for the live stream. I will be working on the show between now and next episode. Get my Stream Deck in gear. I appreciate everybody joining. I'm going to let you go. I've got a super busy day ahead. I've got a varsity boys game tonight. Should be a good one, and I'm looking forward to it. I hope everybody has a great day. I hope you are not snowed in and your games are not canceled in the environs in the country where that's a thing. So with that, I will bow out. Have a great one, everybody.